Hi everybody, welcome back to the Spider's Web. Spider-Man Ross here with you. It's been a while since I posted a video. I've been really busy with work, but so just trying to catch up on a couple of things, a couple of requests from people who saw some of my earlier videos. If there is something you want to know, something you want to see, please let me know. I do try to answer all those questions and comments. In this case, Bat Spider 2003 asked about DVDs and what I had for Spider-Man DVDs. So I hadn't actually thought about that one before, but I thought that was pretty neat considering a lot of us, well, us older folks anyway, cough cough, you know, we got hooked on Spider-Man because of the comics, but because of the 67 cartoon. I mean, that was the cartoon of Spider-Man back in the day, and that's what really helped get us hooked on Spider-Man. So I thought I would do that. So Bat Spider, this is partially for you and partially for everybody else. I certainly don't have all the DVDs and videos, but I'll show you what I have, and maybe you guys can fill in the blanks for me. I also thought that it was important to have some of the VHS tapes, not just the DVDs, because there is some interesting stuff that's never been released on DVD or Blu-ray that I think deserves to be mentioned. So there is only videos. So as mentioned, a lot of us started with Spider-Man with the 67 cartoon, and that's where this beautiful piece comes in. This is the 67 collection, complete DVD of the original series. Absolutely beautiful cover work, cover art, Spidey swinging. And if we open it up here, we've got the famous in color, which is awesome, and the Spider-Man booklet with the list of the episodes and all you need to know. And then we've got these great discs here. Of course, the first one being Spider-Man, but we've also got Rhino, we've got Gobby, we've got JJJ, and we've got Kingpin, and we've got Mysterio. So that is the entire 67 collection. It's a great collection. Yes, it's cheesy. Yes, he's swinging into nothingness every time he webs over top of New York, where there's no buildings possible. But like, it was the late 60s. So being that animation was what it was, it's iconic, and the theme song is iconic, of course. So there aren't too many people out there who don't know the theme song, and that was a nice shout out in the, I think it was Spider-Man 3, where they did the shout out with the lady playing it on the street. I thought that was pretty awesome. So to do with that, I also found this Spider-Man versus Dr. Ock. The Spider-Man is actually more in the look, the name is more in the look of the 95 animated series, but I can guarantee you and tell you that this is actually episodes of the original cartoon as well. Just something I found, I don't even know why, but that was also there. So the 67 cartoon leads us into Nicholas Hammond as the first live action Spider-Man. These were put on as movie of the week type stuff. I believe it was NBC who did it, or was it CBS? One of the main networks did it, and they never have released this on Blu-ray or DVD. But what we have is, there's Con Caper and Curse of Rava, there is Wolfpack and Kirkwood Haunting, and there is the Chinese Web. So those were the first live action with Nicholas Hammond playing Spider-Man. Those I remember as a kid watching them live and thinking, oh my goodness, like, my favorite character is real, right? And as a kid, as a kid in the late 70s, that was absolutely mind-boggling. And then to go along with it was the live action movie starring Nicholas Hammond. And this was on TV, and when I was a kid, I taped it onto a VHS, and then I copied it onto a disc so that I could keep it and watch it, printed this cover and made it for myself. So I actually taped this live off of television, which is crazy to think about. So that was my first coming across live action Spider-Man was Nicholas Hammond. Okay, and that leads us into the 81 animated series, and I don't have this on DVD. And the 81 series lasted 2 seasons. It was 26 episodes, and Spider-Man was voiced by Ted Schwartz. And I don't, like I say, I don't have the whole collection. I do have the VHS tapes that were released to go along with it. So they had the covers and then the write-ups on the back of what the episode was about. And, well, there's a Jumbo Video tag of all things, my goodness. Back in the day, I worked at Jumbo Video for a couple of years. So this is where these came from. While I was working there, I actually ordered them for myself. So these are all episodes of the 1981-82 cartoon that came along. Definitely lesser known, but no less important in its own way. Because, in a way, although it only lasted 2 seasons, what happened was that cartoon led into this, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So it was Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar all living in an apartment together. And this is a collection of all 24 episodes. It ran over 3 seasons on Saturday mornings for us kids who remember Saturday mornings being basically the only time you could watch cartoons from 5 a.m. till 2 p.m. And it was great. I loved it. As a kid, it was super cool. Yes, it's cheesy and campy, and I don't know how these college kids could afford a room full of computers that pop out of couches and walls and stuff, but it's a great cartoon, a lot of fun, and the 81 series led into that. So it's a little off canon in its own way, just with Iceman and Firestar, but it's a great series and well worth mentioning in this. There was a lull for quite a while in animation until we hit the 1995 cartoon. And this is Spider-Man the Animated Series, and this thing was awesome. Because there wasn't a lot going on other than comics, basically once a month, although I kept up with the comics, there wasn't a lot else going on for Spider-Man, and this really rekindled my love of the series. And I want to show you these because I think they're super cool, and they were these bubble-cased VHS tapes, and they released, that cartoon did series, and they were named, and they ran over several episodes as one arc. And that's what made it so cool, is that every week you could watch it and continue the arc next week, and most of the cartoons didn't do that. So these are the full arcs on bubble VHS tape. So they've got great covers, they look awesome, and they cover all the episodes. So we've got Insidious 6, we've got Sins of the Fathers, and there was some great ones. Sins of the Fathers is amazing. Revenge of the Goblins, we've got Spider Slayer, we've got Secret Wars, which was a phenomenal arc, Mutant Agenda, we've got Neogenic Nightmare, we've got the Venom Saga, which of course right now with all the furor over Venom and the movies and the popularity of the character and the fact that Amazing Spider-Man 300 has gone from being like a $100 book to like crazy amounts of money, so that's great for the Venom fans out there. And then Tablet of Time. So they were great story arcs. Those were the bubble VHS tapes that were released. Oh man, I'm really dating myself with this stuff. And then, of course, after the bubble VHS, they released the DVD version. So we have Versus Doc Ock. We've got The Ultimate Villain Showdown. We've got Return of the Green Goblin. We got The Ultimate Battle for Justice with Daredevil. And then I've got these, which were homemade ones that I taped off of TV and then made my own covers for, so that I could have them for myself, because this has never been released in its entirety either, I don't believe. So from 95, we actually, in the animated world, some of the other stuff that I have is, of course, is Spider-Man, the new animated series. Now, this one was from 2003, and it featured Neil Patrick Harris doing the voice of Spider-Man, and it only lasted one season, but it had 13 episodes, and you know what? It was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. But I'm not exactly biased, of course, or I'm quite biased in that if it's Spider-Man and it's done fairly well, I'll watch it and like it. And then 2008, we had, of course, Spectacular Spider-Man, and that was 2 seasons, 2008, 2009. And that was 26 episodes. And this is the entire collection. I haven't even got around to opening this and watching it. Of course, these days, you just go on Disney Plus and watch whatever you want, right? But back in the day, we didn't have that alternative. So Spider-Man was voiced by Josh Keaton in the 26 episodes of that, 2008, 2009. So that's what we have for animated stuff. And of course, for movies, of course, we have 1, 2, and 3 from the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi trilogy. I loved this first movie. I love the second one. It's one of my favorites, with Doc Ock and Molina doing Doc Ock, who was amazing in the role. But this is the limited edition collector's box set for the original release of the Tobey Maguire film. And if we look in here, what have we got? I can show you. Oh, this came off the back. It actually fell off. It was sort of glued to the back of this box. But we'll just go through what's in here. We've got, with great power comes great responsibility. It just talks about the creation of Spider-Man and then the release of the movie. Then we've got the Ramitas. Ramitas did a little bit of artwork here for this as a special release for this package. That's actually really nice. I should actually pull this out and frame it. So that's a nice little piece. And then we've got a little reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15. Of course, the first appearance of Spider-Man in comics. So that's pretty neat. And then we've got the special edition. And then we've also got this film cell. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. And there's the shot of it, and there's a piece of a film cell from that exact shot. And of course from the movie. You know, I could probably pull that out and frame it as well, because I think that's pretty neat. It's getting a little banged up in there. I should take care of it better, I apologize. So then we've got this DVD, but then we've also got this Stan Lee's Mutants, Monsters, and Marvels, which is 2 complete features on 1 DVD about creating Spider-Man, done with Kevin Smith, of course. And it's a retrospective with some creating Spider-Man and Here Come the Heroes. So it's a retrospective DVD done with Kevin Smith. So it's actually a really neat package of kind of collector's things and various other stuff. Very cool. So that came out for the original release of the Tobey Maguire films. And then we've got 2 and 3. This is the collector's gift set for 2. I don't know that there's anything in there, not like that first collector's set. There is some things in here, however. We've obviously got the 2-disc DVD with all the special features. Oh my, we've got some, these are postcards. This is a pack of 5 postcards. So you can see from various, well, it looks like there's 6, Ross. Apparently I don't, 2, 4, 5. right? So those are Spider-Man postcards that came in this gift set. And there is, what else have we got here? We've got a comic book artist portfolio. Okay, so different scenes, different comics and such. That was done special for this release. And then we've got from concept to screen portfolio for Spider-Man 2. So I guess some of the concepts that they had originally and how it translated into the film after the fact. This is actually some pretty neat stuff as well. Very cool. And then we've got a mini comic book, which is obviously not for resale. That is the reprint cover of Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Spider-Man No More. So that's what was in that gift box. Very cool. I don't know that they did a special release for Spider-Man 3. I just have the DVD itself, the 2-disc special edition. I don't know that they released anything special for that or not, but I don't have it. I just have the DVD release of it. So then we've got, from there we move on to the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. And the first one actually came with this Spider-Man's head collector's thing, and it had inside a special Enter the Lizard bonus disc. So just some bonus on the making of the film there. So that was the Andrew Garfield videos and Blu-rays. So the 2 films that he did. And then of course we've got Tom Holland in Homecoming and Far From Home. So those are the Blu-ray releases of those 2 films. Both very well done. Again, for Spider-Man purists, it's hard to ignore that there's no Uncle Ben, and they've kind of replaced Uncle Ben with Iron Man, with Tony Stark. But still very well done nonetheless, and Tom Holland does a great job. Seems like a really good dude. And so then, last but not least, we've got Into the Spider-Verse, the Blu-ray, which is phenomenal. I loved it. It was amazing. They did such a good job with that one. And the after credit scene's fantastic. And then, of course, the Blu-ray of Venom. So, and then Into the Spider-Verse, I thought I'd mention that the post-credit scene of Into the Spider-Verse was released in a pop vinyl figure set. So, that's what this one is. Hilarious. And there you go. There's the scene in the post-credit scene of Into the Spider-Verse. Just some funny little pop release that went with that. So that's what I've got for everybody today. Obviously, like I say, nobody needs all this stuff anymore. You can just go on Disney Plus and watch all of it, but I like to have these things, read the liner notes, look at the special stuff that's in it. I will get some frames and put up some of that stuff from those gift sets. Try to preserve them a little bit better than they are right now, as they've sat in those boxes for a long time. And so that's what I have for VHS and DVD and Blu-ray releases of Spider-Man animation and films. Again, this one was a question that came in. Somebody wanted me to do it. So thank you very much, BatSpider2003, for that. If you guys want to reach out, have questions, or just want to send me pictures of whatever you have for Spider-Man collections, that's great. I love talking to other collectors and seeing what you guys all have. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. If there's anything you want to see, let me know. And we will talk to you next time. Thanks again for watching, and stay safe out there, everyone.